View titles. So let's carry on with opening our template where we left off. So that was 211. Okay, let's save as. And this will be 212. Begin. Make sure that just says 1, and it does. We'll save that. Okay, now let's do another save as. 212. Complete. Let's add what we're doing to our project notes. Okay, so we're setting up view titles. Just going to expand this, make sure that that's right. 212 template imperial complete. Good. Okay, we'll save that. Now, what's a view title? Well, if you go into your sheets and let's say A103, this was the elevations. Now, take a look at this. This is the view title. Now, it's a little off our sheet right now. Let's activate this view right on the sheet. So click on the view. I can click on activate view. You can also get this by right-clicking and then activating view. And then we're going to turn on the crop view. We're going to turn on the crop visibility. And let's just move this in a little bit. Both sides. Okay, right-click, deactivate view, and we're back on the sheet. There's the view title. Let's just click on the view title itself, and then you can drag it to where it needs to be. This is a little trick with view titles. If you just click on the view port, then you can get the length of it. Takes a bit of getting used to. Of course, we did cover this already. This is just a little bit of review. Okay, but that is the view title. How do we make it look the way we want? If you click on it, you can't edit family. It's not available like tags. So it's like a lot of the other view tags, like these level heads and things like that. It's actually something that we need to make outside of this template file. Now, let's just click on this one and edit type. We'll make a new type. We'll duplicate it. We'll call it viewport 2, sure. The title, that's the actual symbol or the family that's been loaded in. And if we look at it, there's just the one. It's called view title. And we can show the title. We can show extension line. This is interesting here. You can show the title when there's multiple viewports. So if there's more than one, it'll show the title. If not, it'll just default to the title block. I like multiple viewports. That's a pretty smart setting. You can change the line weight of this line that's there. You can decide not to show it if you want. You can just change the color and the pattern. Those are all things that you can play with. I'm just going to leave it as is. And now there's only one view here. Now it's not showing the view title. If I were to drop another view on here, let's say a west elevation, all of a sudden it pops in there. So I'm going to delete that west elevation that I dropped in. I am going to click on this view, edit the type, and let's go back and say yes. There we go. So we've corrected that issue. Sometimes on details, you can say when there's multiple views. Let's just say yes for the sake of this exercise. Okay, let's get at this family. How do we get there? Well, we're going to open one that's already there. We're going to go to the big R, which is the application menu. We're going to go to open, and we're going to go to family. Under US Imperial, we're going to go to annotations, and we're going to look for the view title. So it's under V. Scroll down, and there it is. So you've got view title with sheet, and reference sheet. I kind of like that one. Let's open that one. So that's view title with sheet and reference sheet. Okay, so this looks pretty good. We want to change the fonts around a little bit. And of course, we want to do a save as. Let's just save as. We're going to put it in our directory, and we're going to call this one 212. Okay, it's a family. And we're going to call this one view title. Call it A. Under options, we'll just make the maximum backups 1 and say OK. Then we'll save that. Good. So let's save what we've got so far again. Let's adjust our labels. There's the first label. Let's just edit it. And we'll leave that. Label's OK. Sometimes what I'm doing here is just keeping them all like label 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can do that. Just duplicate it. Call it label 1. We're just changing this to stylus. Text size, 1/8 inch. Let's leave it at that for now. We can adjust it as we go if we feel that's too big. Okay, so then that'll change that one. This one here, let's just change that to label 1. Good, and let's change this one to label 1. It's easy for us just to change the labels. Now these ones are smaller, so we're going to call that one label 2. So we'll duplicate it, we'll call it label 2. Okay. So this is stylus, BT, good. 1/16 inch. Sure, why not? I mean, we could go with 330 seconds if we just want to be consistent. And we'll apply that and say, okay. Little big. So let's just edit that again and go with a 16th. See if that'll even fit. Barely. Let's edit it one more time and let's just change the width to 0.9 and we'll say okay. Good. And then we'll flip over to that. We'll call that label 2. Looks good to me. Let's save it. Let's click on load into project. Okay, now where did it go? Again, this is an issue where we've got to actually go to a sheet, go to our style of view titles, edit the type. This is viewport 2, and let's change out the family that we just made. There it is, 0 to 12. This is nice. I like to have the referring sheet. I like to have where it came from and where it is. And that way people have a little bit more of an idea of where that detail came from if they're on the detail sheet. Now, you don't have to do that everywhere. You can make an A and a B. I'm not going to do that right now in the interest of time, but you could do this and just call it B and change that parameter around. Okay, so let's close our hidden windows, close that view. We will be saving that. Our view title, I believe I did save it, but just in case, we'll shut it and see if it offers to save. No, and we're back to our startup screen.